Hey, welcome back to another episode of Miners 4x4 Garage and Adventure. Uh, Once again, we didn't film the adventure, and it's not four-wheel drive. Um, Maybe I should just call this Miners.
Custom adventure would work.
Yeah, Miners stuff and things. So anyway, we went and got this earlier. Kind of dropped the ball on recording any of it. Oh yeah, my wife is reminding me that we have our niece with us here today. Not that I forgot I had my niece with me. She's 5 feet away from me, but I'm not used to introducing people in videos. Anyway, so we went and got this earlier today, and completely forgot to film any of the stuff. I didn't ask the property owner if they were okay with filming on their property. Probably would have been, but he had to leave, and I didn't have. Anyway, it wasn't worth the potential problem. So it's a 19, I believe. I want to say he said 62. I think he said 62 or 64. I don't know anything about these cars. So it's a Triumph Spitfire. It's got a, I don't know, 0.5 liter four cylinder in it. I have no idea what size it is. But all in all, if you want to give it a little bit of a walk around here, it's in pretty good condition. You don't need to keep me in frame while I'm talking either. It's in pretty good condition overall. It's got a few blisters in the paint that you can see in a couple places. Taillights are busted. I'm not sure what this back window is supposed to be. I don't know if that's supposed to be glass or if that's supposed to be like a, it would appear that maybe it's supposed to be some kind of a vinyl something or another. But it's got the hard top with it that's in really, well, like structurally, it's in really good shape. Like paint wise, it's in horrible shape. But it's in pretty good condition, given the thing's age. I'm told that the synchros in the transmission in first gear are either it's not a synchronized first gear or the synchros in first gear are out. It wouldn't be unusual. There were multiple manufacturers of those years that had a non-synchronized first gear. The interior, I don't know how much you saw that when she walked around it, but I mean, the interior's gutted. The seats are pulverized. There's basically nothing left of its interior. It's trash. I don't know if that little panel for the gauge cluster is in there somewhere, or, if not, I can cut one out of cardboard and then transfer it onto an old road sign and get that put in there. So let's open up the trunk, I guess. And I broke the main rule of my hero, and I didn't start in the trunk. Sorry, Derek. Some of you understood that. Yeah, so we've got unfortunately this isn't virgin territory. I've already been here once. Like I said, I forgot to take you along with me when we went and got it, but we've got our ant farm back here. We got some circa 1970s shag carpet that'll give you a contact high by just looking at it. We've got the old master cylinder, and I'm not sure if that's from the brakes or the clutch. I haven't even delved in that deep. So not a lot to see in the trunk. The doors open pretty okay, fine. I mean, they're a little sticky. But that's why I have my friend, also great on salads.
Ew, Not recommended at all. Don't do that.
Hey, I checked the box. This video is not for kids. If an adult can't figure that out, then they don't need to be online. So the doors open pretty okay, fine. This one substantially better than the passenger side. And then, you want to pop that latch for me on the other side, please?
Yes. Love the hood latches on these.
So the pivot points on the front leave a bit to be desired. I almost feel as if they're missing a bushing or something. So I've just got these random bolts I had laying around goobered in there just so the thing doesn't come flying off. But you know, I think there's supposed to be like a bushing, and then I don't know if it's like a pin and a clip or a nut and a bolt or what that is. But at any rate, let's get this puppy up and get that. We got this lovely British kickstand. So, and like I said, I don't know how many, I don't know what the engine size is or anything. I don't even know if it's 6 or 12 volt. I had a guy here buying some parts from me, and he asked me if it was 6 or 12, and I was like, I don't know. 12, I would imagine, but I'd have to verify that. The engine's got oil in it. The radiator looks radiator shaped. I don't think it's had fluid in it or coolant in it for quite some time. But you know, I mean, it looks like it may be salvageable, because that's not something I immediately want to start throwing money at. For those of you that are getting too excited, this is probably not going to be a viable project for me for, I'm going to go on the lean side and say probably about 2 years. I may fiddle with it. I may clean it up. I may, you know, do a little bit of this here and there. If I find a part for it, I may buy it and stick it on the shelf. But don't get too excited yet, because I got the Jeep, the Ranger, and that red truck, that 76 F100 that I just brought home way ahead of this.
Did you notice the last 2 vehicles you brought home were both red, and they both had an intact windshield?
Yes, and consequently, they were both full of ants.
Yes. I don't think there should be a third.
So, but yeah, I'm something bad's going to happen if we keep bringing home good windshields. But I can't help but think that windshield, I mean, unless this gasket's hiding something, this windshield in this condition is probably worth some money. And I mean, it may not be. I don't know. I know curved glass is more expensive than flat glass. So the long-term plan, you know, and this is just the redneck side of me coming out. You know, obviously I get a Brit car, and my first thought is, I wonder if I can stick a Weber on that. So I've heard these dual carbs are just a genuine pain in the butt. So I want to see if either I or someone more accomplished than myself at welding, probably aluminum, or something, can't put together some kind of little intake manifold / adapter / whatever, and just run a single Weber carburetor on there. Or even, I mean, heck, even bring it 2 into 1 and run like an old Carter YF. You know, because I can't help but imagine, you know, because the butterfly on a Carter's what, inch and a quarter, something like that, 1.5 inches. These, I imagine, are probably like the size of a quarter. So, but again, I have no idea. That's just a dumb American's idea how to improve on a British car. So we'll figure that out when the time comes. Like I said, I got a while. Body wise, I am actually really shocked with the overall condition of this car. It's got some dents, like I said, it's got some blisters in the paint, but it's not like rotten by any stretch of the imagination. The floor pans seem relatively good. That, you know, they've got some surface rust on them. Some that's a little deeper than surface, but no, you know, by no means cancer. You know, like my wife brought up, it's got a good windshield in it. It's got the hard top with it. Evidently, these hubcaps they're Triumph hubcaps, but they're not the era. They're era appropriate, but they're not the correct year for this car. And then that leads me to another topic. Apparently this thing has been out of the system for like 20 years. It hasn't been registered in 20 years. Well, it hasn't been registered in more than that. So I need to look into, I know that process can be an absolute pain in the willy, but you know, I don't know. I mean, if I'm up against the wall and I can't do anything with it, then, you know, it might just be worth what it's worth in parts. I'd say worth its weight, but you know, it doesn't weigh anything. And hard to scrap a car without a title. So, in one piece anyhow. I didn't say that. Yeah. So at the moment, the engine will not rotate by hand. My niece and I ran into the parts store and I grabbed some Marvel Mystery Oil and a can of Kool-Aid. So I'm gonna go around after this. I don't think squirting door hinges is, you know, terribly exciting. So as soon as we turn the camera off, I'm gonna go around and hit the door hinges, hit the trunk lid, hit the hood latches. I just noticed this one's like loosey goosey there. So, you know, just little stuff like that. Tighten stuff up, stuff that doesn't cost any money. Well, I mean, other than a can of PB Blaster, but it's not like that's specific to this project. Can't really think of anything else to say, you know, for the here and the now. Yet again, I've brought home another project car and have yet to follow through with any of the other ones that we've discussed here. Thought it was kind of funny. We went to get this morning when we were pulling out. I noticed that a neighbor, there's a property nearby that's been cleaned up significantly in the last, I don't know, year or so. We had some rather unsavory neighbors, and it was purchased and cleaned up, and it looks really good now. But anyway, I noticed a little stack of tires sitting out by the driveway, and I was like, hey, free tires. But, you know, what the heck am I going to do with those? They're tiny. So, sure enough, you know, we get this home. We go to get it, and it's got a big old bubble in the front driver tire.
That shouldn't be there.
Okay. Resuming after the world of unnecessary pauses.
Shut up.
So anyway, big old bubble in the tire. Knew it wasn't going to last long. Had no idea. Before I went to unload the car, I noticed that the tire had gone completely. So anyway, this stack of tires is laying on the side of the road, and I'm going, you know, I'll stop and take a look. Why not? These are 165 13s, and the ones laying on the side of the road were 155 13s. And they're Toyos, you know, I don't remember that Toyo Eclipse or whatever, that tire that every car had in the 90s and 2000s. But yeah, I mean, they're old, they're muddy, they're whatever, but they've got decent tread depth on them, and I can't imagine, you know, that they're much worse than these. So as long as it holds air and is round, it's an improvement from this. So I think anything beyond this is just going to kind of be rambling. I think I'm bordering rambling at the moment. So you know, if you know anything about these cars, if you're, you know, if you have anything to contribute, feel free to, you know, if anything I've said has been wrong, or you know, little must knows about these cars, feel free to drop it in the comments. If you're liking the content, if you're liking the direction this is going, like, subscribe, share, do the hokey pokey, put extra Worcestershire sauce on your steak. you know, and then travel the world. Anyway, don't do that. That's expensive unless you want to. Anyway, bye. You gonna wave?